Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a sort of deep dive spotlight on a Maplelea girl, Leonie, who's over here. She's our Quebec girl from Quebec City. And when I say I'm doing a spotlight deep dive, I mean I've got a lot to share, a lot to talk about. I believe there are more than 15 outfits, which I'm going to share the details and then dress them on American Girl dolls so you can see the fit. Some of the outfits will be retired, and some of them will be still available in the store or even recently retired. But I'll let you know as I get to it what the outfit's called and kind of talk about how easy they are to find if they're retired. Usually in Canada, they're easier to find. And I'm also going to be sharing a bunch of dolls, not just the American Girls I'm going to be dressing in her outfits, but I'm also going to be sharing, I think she has 5 dolls in her world, Maplelea dolls in this case, for those of you who've seen when I share my American Girl dolls who also have dolls join their story. And I'm going to talk a little bit about her journal because I now have it, which I'll explain a little bit more when I get to it. And as you can see here beside me, these are a few things I have that are new to me. I haven't opened them yet. And pretty much everything that's in this box right here, which is one of those keepsake boxes that the dolls used to come in. They used to come in these really big boxes. I've just labeled this one with Leonie on both sides so I can easily find it in my closet of stacked boxes. And I think almost all the outfits in this box that are retired and I found secondhand, I haven't tried on an American Girl or even a Leonie, but any Maplelea doll yet. So let me get started because it's going to be a long one, I think. It only makes sense if I start by talking about the doll herself, about Leonie. That's Léonie Bélanger Leblanc, which is, of course, a French name. And let me show you the way her name's written, because there's one thing I want to explain to anybody who doesn't know French very well. This is her pages. These are her pages in the Maplelea catalog. So if you look at her name up here, the way it's written, you've got the accent over the E, the accent aigu, which means it's pronounced as A, like Leonie. And that's why her name's pronounced that way. Just in case people ever hear me talking, it's the same way I say Cecile because of that accent aigu. And the doll was introduced in 2008. She was the first new core doll. And there are 7 now, but there were only 4 before she came out. And before she was introduced, Catherine, the creator and founder of Maplelea and the creator of all these dolls, she sent out, I believe it was a newsletter, the old-fashioned way, letters, and I'm assuming maybe they had something online, I'm not too sure, but she asked for the collectors, it was mostly kids back then, I would say, who were into these dolls, to vote on where the next Maplelea core girl should come from, which city, which town, wherever, which province. And it makes sense that a doll from Quebec would win because we are a bilingual country, and the French settlers were the first of modern Canada, of how Canada exists today. They were the first to come, and I believe Quebec is where they started, and that's why Quebec itself as a province, but the Quebec City, not Montreal. Most people will know of Montreal, but not really realize that Quebec City is its own thing. I believe that's the oldest city. And I was there recently, so I'm probably going to have a lot to say about Quebec. The city itself was my first time visiting. I'd been to Montreal quite a few times in my life, but it was my first time actually getting to go to Quebec. So I'll be inserting there'll be a lot of self-insertion, let's say, about when it comes to talking about Quebec. So like I said, it made a lot of sense that they would go to Quebec next because it's our second language. We are a bilingual country, you could say. We have two languages. And so it's really good that Leonie was the first doll to get introduced by demand, by vote. And the Leonie doll you see before me, she's not the original doll. I do have the original sculpt now. I was finally able to track her down. If anybody saw my Maplelea deep dive, I talked about Leonie having an old mold and it not being it's not very lovely. But I will warn you ahead of time, I'm not going to show her till later, that she has grown on me, believe it or not. Maybe it's just how things go. It's like all these dolls have grown on me, even though some of them took a little bit. It was a slow burn for some of them, let's say. But Leonie, as she exists today, is the doll I do suggest for people. She's the one I would recommend most if she's going to be your first doll, or if you haven't bought a doll yet. She's not my favorite, but she's the one I would recommend because I think that people would love her. And I do think collectors must agree with me because she's currently sold out. She's the only core doll who is sold out. She'll be back in the fall because as core dolls, they'll always come back if they sell out or not. And sometimes their meat outfits, or starter outfits as Maplelea calls them, will change. They'll get an upgrade. She's not wearing her meat outfit, starter outfit, but I do have most of it on the original doll, who I'll show later. She's wearing her Belle Soirée outfit, which is French for beautiful. Well, I think the technical or the literal translation for soiree is evening gathering. So some of us may call that a party. So I think that's what her outfit means, pretty or beautiful party. And now that I've talked enough about the doll, I can talk a little bit about her journal, because there is one thing I want to say when I did the Maplelea deep dive. I mentioned that I got my Leonie doll. The reason she doesn't have her starter outfit is because I chose to get her as the Camp Tana doll, which means she came with this limited edition outfit, but I didn't get her starter outfit because of it, or her journal. And I kind of regretted that. Hindsight is 2020, they say, and I definitely would have gotten a Maplelea and Me doll in that outfit instead. But somebody heard my plea in that video when I talked about it, and when I purchased some other Maplelea stuff from them, they snuck this in there. So if they see this video too, because they saw the other one, I just wanted to say thank you in like a public sort of way, and I hope I thank them privately too. But anyway, to talk about the journals, this is one of the older ones, so that's like the floppier one that is done up. There's a sort of a flower clip here, and then this elastic band. I'm keeping my finger there. I'll show you in a minute. So the elastic goes around the flower clip to keep it closed, and then each doll's journal comes in 2 or 3 languages for one particular doll. So it'll be French and English, because as I said, those are our 2 languages in Canada. And because Léonie is French, her journal starts out, so her French section is first. So I'm not going to be going by that one, because even though we study French in school and I was actually really good at French, if I do say so myself, but it was a long time ago, I've lost a lot of it. I'm going to be looking or referring to the English part of it. Oh, okay, so here's what I said about the name, Léonie Bélanger Leblanc. And so I'm not going to go over the entire journal, but I did want to point out a few things. She's 10 years old, and one thing to note about the journals is they are handwritten to look like it's the character herself who did the journal. So it's not really a story the way some 18-inch doll collectors may be used to, like historical books coming with the American Girl dolls, for example. And the thing about the journals themselves is Catherine hired, for each doll, she hired a writer, an author from that city, so that they can write from personal experience. And, it's a Canadian company, so it was also to, I would say, invigorate Canadian talent. And so you can rest assured that everything that's going to be in here is going to be accurate. And I've read through quite a bit of it, because I'm trying to just absorb some of it so that I can talk about it more freely. And what I found really interesting about Leonie, there are a few things, but the first one is her family consists of her parents and her, and then she has 2 little twin sisters over at the end there. So I guess I just want to point out that they usually will go into the family history, talk about their family tree, and sort of how their history, how they came to Canada, how their ancestors came here. And I mentioned that Quebec is where, I believe, as far as I remember from history and little things I gleaned from looking into this Talk About Leonie video, that's kind of where Canada, the modern as it exists today, was through Quebec. And I think I should save a lot of my personal experiences and opinions for when I'm dressing dolls, but I just wanted to give a little insight. Like, for example, her family, she's traced her family tree back to know that her she refers to them as colonists. I'm not being funny when I say that. They arrived through Normandy, or they came from Normandy, France, back in 1640. So when we talk about Canada, we haven't been, as a country, it was only confederated in the 1700s, late 1700s. I shouldn't do the math, but anyway, we've only been it was not quite yet. And because it's a country, it was kind of like done a little bit at a time. So it's just my way of saying that she refers to her city, Quebec City, as an old city. And now I think I can move on. I think I've talked about a little bit of what I want to say about her. She's very active. She likes hockey, which is a very Canadian thing. And I'll definitely talk about that later, because there are some hockey things I have to share. And she likes singing, which is another thing I'm going to be talking about too, just because I have stuff of her singing, her performance outfits to share as well. And then there'll be, like I said, a lot of facts about Quebec City, and probably Quebec as a province, to be honest, but I think they mostly focus on Quebec City. And I'm trying not to say too much about Quebec City yet, because I want to save it for when I'm dressing the dolls. Give me something to do so I can show you how they fit, because I do think it is a little bit of a benefit, not just to see how the dolls look, the American Girl dolls look in the outfits, but to see how it goes on if I really struggle. So talking about her singing being one of her passions and music being one of her passions, an example is her collection has a guitar, which is sold out right now, so I don't have it. It's just a red Maplelea acoustic guitar. So just pretend for the sake of the video, and I could show it to you if you really want, that when I'm talking about it, just know that she has a guitar and it'll be back in the fall. I guess that means it's going to be an outfit that they keep around for a while. But the reason I'm talking about that is because I'm going into one of her performance outfits called Chateau Chanson, and I'm going to show one new outfit, and then I'm going to show it with, you'll see how I mean, with an outfit that I already own, but it's still available on the website. So it comes with this velveteen style headband, a stretchy, elasticy headband. Hopefully you can see that. Pink, and then there's a sort of gold plastic bead sewn on there. It's very simple. It's just a dress that's, how would you say, that's very shimmery, it's stretchy. I didn't realize it was so shiny from the pictures. It's really nice in person. And I think you can wear this as a headband or a belt, and I think it looks better as a belt, and that's how I'm actually going to wear it. And a little bracelet that is shiny beads. I guess it's to match the bead on the belt or hairband, and it's elasticated, so it'll be easy to get on. And everything that you buy from Maplelea will come with journal pages. I'm not going to go over them too much because I have the journal down there, and I finally got all my journals organized. So it'll be the French page, which I then put at the back of the book. I'll put it, well, not the back for her, it's front for her because she's French. So I'll put the English page in the back where the English section is of her book, and I'll put them in order because this is KL72. So if you look here, it shows you what number this outfit is. And that means whenever you get something, whenever all of the outfits nowadays are made with a tag inside that will tell you the number, like I said, KL72 for this outfit, which means Catherine, the creator, Leonie, because it's hers, and then this is probably the 72nd item that they came out with for Leonie. She would be KL1, for example. And then there'll be a blank page. So I will have to make sure I organize all these at the end of the video, but I won't put you through that. Instead, I'll move on to the outfit that I'm going to show with her Chateau Chanson, which is called, actually, let me pull out I'm going to pair it with her heartstring shoes, because this is the picture that I showed you where she has her guitar. That's what she's wearing with it. So it's pink and red, very Valentine's-y, and these heart glasses, which I don't think are part of her collection. I don't even think they came with journal pages. Not all the glasses do, but I thought it would be a cute pairing because, like I said, that's what they did in the catalog. And I'm looking for the name of her other outfit, but even though I don't need to because it's going to be written on the tags, I think it's called her rock and roll outfit. And the reason I'm saying I wanted to show these together because they're kind of like performance outfits. And let me double check what it's called. Rock and Couture. And it's KL15. So Catherine Leonie 15. And I've shown this before, so you may have seen it. I've already outfitted a doll in it. It's got sequin shoulders. It's a really soft cotton. And then these are stretchy leggings with their really very much leggings on. They're like tights on an American Girl doll because their bodies are chubbier, but they're a little bit looser on Leonie or any other Maplelea doll. And it comes with this, I think they call it a studded bracelet, but it's just got these shiny black buttons pretty much. And I'm going to pair it with these boots that are Leonie's, but they don't go with this outfit. They go with her concertina coat, but they pair really nicely with this. And I'll show the concertina coat quite a bit later in the video. And I was kind of foreshadowing that when I mentioned how she has twins in her family, because I'm going to put these outfits on a set of twins, the Millennium Twins. So I see they're historical dolls, but I just think I need to start branching out with my dolls sometimes, especially when I'm showing on here. I want to show them in different lights. So this is Isabel, just in case you didn't know. And she's, again, as in case you didn't know, a very, very beautiful doll with striking eyes. But I think I could talk a little bit more about Quebec. So the thing that they say about Quebec City is it's very, very windy. And I must admit, I was only there for one night. We got there at night and then left the next day. So it was pretty much just a day trip because we were going all across Canada. And when we were there, it wasn't just windy. It was like a torrential downpour. And so it was fun to see it that way because that's kind of the, not the rain so much, but the winds. That's sort of the, I don't know if cliche is the right word, but that's the joke about Quebec City. And we got to be there at like the worst. And another interesting thing, because I was talking about how Quebec is kind of like where Canada began as far as settlement goes. Oh, and I don't know if people know this, but the word Canada, well, I'm sure I'm saying it with a Anglophone accent, it's actually an Indigenous word meaning settlement, and that's how Canada got the name. I just feel like that's not a very commonly known thing, so I thought I would just throw that in there because she also, Leonie, has some Indigenous, First Nations, I should say. It mentions this in her journal that she has First Nations in her blood, in her lineage, in her background. And I'll talk about that later in the book, later in the video, because I would imagine they don't say this, they don't need to, but I would imagine she's Métis because, anyway, that's what I'm going to talk about later, the Métis tribe. And this bracelet, I'm just being very careful because their limbs are thick. Oh, it's a much nicer bracelet than I thought. It's very bright in here, so I sometimes miss the little details, but the beads have, if you see between the beads, there's sort of, I don't know how you explain it. It's almost like a ring that has little rhinestones in it. And I think my face is making it anyway. So I don't know if you can make up the details from there, but it's really a way nicer bracelet than, why don't they talk? Maybe it does mention it in the website, but it's really nice. And I'm pleasantly surprised. And pop her sunglasses on, complete the look on her head, because that's how I want to see it. I like having things on their head of some kind, whether it's a hat or whatever. So now let me, before I put her on the doll stand, bring it forth and show you how the outfit goes. So sometimes there's shoes, I just like to let you decide for yourself how you feel about them, because the feet are very, very differently shaped. And the dress looks so nice because Maplelea, I find, is really smart, or really, I don't know if generous is the right word, for making the shape of dress, making sure it covers the cloth body. It hits the neck and the shoulder joints without exposing anything. And so whenever I see an outfit that's shaped like this, I'm a little nervous, like I'm apprehensive to buy it, especially before I knew that they make them right. Because I hate when the cloth body shows, and I know a lot of you agree with me, so that's why I talk about it way too much, or maybe just enough. And now this outfit, Isabel being the girlier girl, I don't know if that's a nice way to say it, and then Nikki being a little bit more alternative, I thought she would suit the rock and roll outfit, and that's why I chose them this way. And it just, like I said, the twinness of it made it feel like the perfect, because she has little twin sisters. These aren't them, but you know what I'm saying? Meaning these aren't the dolls I said that are part of her world. So another thing about Quebec, about what I was alluding to with it being a really old city, is you feel it when you're there. Like it feels, probably, I've never been to France, but people say it feels very European, and I feel like it would have to be specifically France. Duh, right? And another thing is, it feels, I'll probably talk about that history a little bit more later with when the British came and how there was a war, let's say, beating around the bush for now. And so when you're in Quebec City, it's not a very big city, but it's like a condensed. Everything feels very beautiful. It's also honestly a very beautiful place to visit, and I've always been told that. But there's a citadel right in the middle of everything that you see. So at because it's on the water, it's along the St. Lawrence River, right? Wow, I'm gonna fail. I'm glad I don't have a history test coming up, or geography, or So when I say a citadel, it's like a military base. So when you're in Quebec City, it really feels like that's what you're in. Like you feel like, oh, this must have been a war zone at one point, and everything's still there because it's historic and it's really fascinating to see. And we don't have anything like that in Toronto. In case you don't know, that's where I live. I'm in the next province to the west of Quebec. And so I just feel like there's so much to see in Quebec, the province too, but I'm talking about Quebec City specifically for now. And so it was really a really nice part of the trip because I finally got to see how it looks, because like I said, it has a reputation for being a place that, at least for Canadians, we should all visit it because of the history there, because it is just beautiful. And another thing I want to mention about Quebec City that I wasn't expecting is, have you been to San Francisco? And it's all hills, because I remember making a joke the first night that we were there. It was like, we were going to go to dinner, and I was like, we're not going to walk to the restaurant, we're going to climb to it, because it was so hilly everywhere. It was just the same way as I felt when I was in San Francisco, where I would imagine if you live there, it doesn't really have the same. You feel like it's going to be some kind of workout, but when you actually live there and go through all the time, I'm sure that's not the case. And for the record, I haven't put this out. I haven't put these boots, I don't think, on an American Girl doll. Or I don't remember because they're so much tighter on here, especially to put over this pair of pants. But you wouldn't have to pair this outfit. If you were interested in it, you wouldn't have to pair it with these boots anyway. But it really suits the boots because it's so rock and roll, just like she is, kind of. She's more alternative girl. Oh, so let me bring her forth so you can see. Now, what I mentioned about the feet of the Maplelea dolls being longer and narrower, I don't know if I said that, but that's what I meant. That's what I alluded to. Sometimes the boots can look, again, to your taste. I've gotten used to it. I actually appreciate it because it makes the American Girl, it's like a good, what would you say, middle ground between their short, wide baby feet and their feet are actually more realistic than Maplelea Girls, but when you're not used to it, it's a lot. It's so, I've totally adjusted to it. I actually think I prefer it now because I've gotten so used to it. But I remember it felt really funny when I was so used to American Girl. So here are the twins in Leonie's performance outfits, let's call them. And I've got plenty more to go. I'm really eager, excited to show these next two outfits, both retired, and there are varying degrees of availability, I would say, on the secondary market. Let me start with this one. It's KL34, I believe. And it's KL34, I think I said it correctly. It's interesting because I feel like it has two names. The tags all say on these three pieces, Breton Chandail. And when I look it up on the wiki, which is I have open right in front of me, it says Nautique Nouveau. So I don't know if, I just don't know why there'd be two names if it's wrong on the wiki. It must be correct on the outfit though, right? But anyway, it comes with all these four pieces. And the reason I'm eager to show this one is because it's going to become her summer outfit. And I've been wanting to see it, for the first time on a doll on camera so I can kind of react to it. But it comes with these cute little shoes. I'll start there. And I don't know if you can see the details. It's a flowery, this is like navy flowers around the trim and then just like a red. It feels like a very matte fake leather, if you could picture that, and then felt on the inside. And it comes with a scarf, which is good, perfect, I think, because from what I can see in pictures, it looks like this might leave a little bit of the neck exposed. And I hate that. But it's a cute striped sweater, I guess you could call it, chemise. And these cute little shorts that I think this is going to fit really well on an American Girl doll. Some button details up here. They're metal buttons. And are these, no, they're decorative pockets. Not that you could reach their hands in there even if they were functional, but I'm just letting you know they're decorative and they're so cute. And then the other outfit I'm going to show is Pop Star Plaid. It's a little incomplete. It's missing the black leggings that come with it. They're sort of cut off leggings, but I don't care because this outfit I actually break up. I use it as a mix and match because it has got really fun pieces. These shoes aren't part of it. They're Leonie's. I think they're called her celebration shoes, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to try them on the American Girl doll with it. And what it comes with, so the missing tights were the exact same stretchy, very polyestery of this top that goes underneath the jacket here. You wouldn't expect it to come with this, but I believe this probably came at the same era as, the Avril Lavigne when she was wearing those baggy ties, because the tie that it comes with, it doesn't go up tightly around the neck, so it kind of hangs, as you'll see in a second. So when I wear it on my Maplelea Girl, I tie it up like this just so that it's a bit tighter because I don't want it to look like 2003 or whenever that era was with Avril Lavigne. And because it's missing the tights, the black tights, I use the underwear that come from Leonie's undergarment set. I think each girl used to come with you could buy the undergarment set because the doll's starter outfit doesn't come with any kind of underwear. So they are, I think I forgot to mention that you're going to see a lot of red in this video, and then secondarily you'll see pink, but mostly red. And so she's got just red checkerboard, I guess you could say. Not really gingham, not really plaid. And this plaid skirt, which is like a schoolgirl kind of, this kind of feels like the way I dress up my doll with it. I make it like a schoolgirl kind of outfit. And I just think this is an outfit people would really love. And I've seen it available quite a bit. So I would say that, again, keeping in mind that it's mostly going to be in Canada where it's available on the secondary market, Maplelea doll groups mostly is where I've been able to track these down, but also on Marketplace because they're local to me. So I have an easier time than anyone else would. And I didn't show the jacket. Short sleeve jacket, kind of like a short sleeve bomber, and snap buttons that I would never do the jacket up because it's so high necked. But then when you leave it open, you're going to see the underneath of the snaps. Just keep that in mind. And I'm going to, even though I'm more eager to see this, I'm going to put this outfit on first because I have a feeling people would really go for this outfit. I'm just putting on a truly me. Her name's Aubrey, but where's it Audrey? I think it's Audrey actually. Mixing it up with Aubrey Plaza, I think. And so I just think it's going to really suit her, and that's why I chose her. I kind of did have a little bit of method as to why I chose each doll I've chosen to dress up in these fun little outfits. And maybe a little bit of selfishness, the way what I would like to see tried on. Okay, you don't need to see, she's got underwear, so I don't need to try those on her. And I don't know if they would really fit too, because I guess it doesn't matter, but I've mentioned it before that Maplelea dolls have bigger butts than American Girl for some reason. So the limbs are thicker on American Girl. And I don't know if their bodies are necessarily stuffed thicker because you know how they make them thinner now, the way the dolls are stuffed. So I don't think that's really as much of an issue for the thickness of the body. I think everything fits really well. It's just that they're a little bit shorter. And just trying to show you how it goes on. It's a really cute outfit. And so this is the part I'm not crazy about just because it's dated. It's not, you know, it's just these dolls have become a little bit of a time capsule. You know, it actually looks kind of cute. Maybe I didn't give it a fair chance. But before I show it to you, let me get the bomber on her as well. And these are all decorative pockets on the bomber, by the way. And some people have noticed they've noticed these pieces in the background of my videos, the last video, because I've gotten these pretty recently, and even though it was for Leonie's video, I couldn't wait. You know what? That's because I've seen it on my Maplelea dolls, and I'll get her up. I'll fix her up after, but that was a heart attack. I really like how this looks on an American Girl body. And then the shoes, I always have to sort of preface it by saying, oh, these look like they're wide enough. Did I have these on an American Girl already? No, maybe they're too tight. Just kind of, oh no, it's fine. So they usually promote these as being what you would wear with a Christmas outfit or a holiday kind of outfit. And I'm just going to say, you get to decide if you like how these shoes look. To me, it looks like she's retaining water. I don't know how else to word it. But I'm always so rude when I talk about how the shoes fit them. But, you know, it's pretty cute. It's okay. Like, they're really nice shoes. They're a shiny vinyl. And the hanging tie doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. I guess I didn't even really try because I had such a vision in mind for how I wanted the dolls to be dressed in this. The dolls who are wearing it. Poor Nikki. And now, I'm really excited about this outfit. I was excited about this one too, but I'm saying I haven't even seen this on a doll yet. And the doll I've chosen, and I could be wrong, and maybe I'll change my mind when I see it, is Melody, because I feel like this has a little bit of a 60s flair to it. So let me just get her dressed, and you know what? I'll pick up Nikki behind me. You ready to see how cute it is on her? I can't say if it's the 60s or not. I'm not really great with that kind of stuff, but it is so cute. This little flip she has in her hair. I haven't put in the scarf yet because there are two ways you could wear it. You could wear it around her neck and her hair. But at first I wanted to show you the shoes aren't the best fit. They stick out in the back, or if you push them forward, they show her toes a bit. And really, it's not a problem. It still looks cute and it would display really nicely. I just like to share all these things. As you can see, it almost looks like she's wearing her mom's shoes or something, you know, that look. But other than that, it's an adorable, really cute, nice fit. It shows the neckline a little bit. That's also what I wanted to show you. It shows her, if you really like turn her a certain way, you can see. But that's why the scarf, from what I could see in pictures, I expected that. And that's why I was glad it came with a scarf. And the scarf's really cute. Let me show it up close, because I don't think I did yet. It's a flower pattern. If you thought it was like a bandana, it's little red flowers with sort of white at the back. They look a little bit like poppies to me, which are, I know they're a very big thing in Canada, particularly around Remembrance Day, but I don't know if it's the same significance in other parts of the world. So as I was saying, you could tie it on her hair, which to me makes it even more of an illusion or delusion that it's a very 60s looking outfit. So I'll quickly show you that before I just tie it around her neck. Does Melody have any headscarves in her collection? Nothing's coming to mind, but it's a really cute look for her because of the flip. It really complements the way her hair looks. And the tag's a little bit of an issue when you're trying to get it done up. But I think the way you would probably want to wear it, if it's not a Melody or someone equally as cute, is to tie it around the neck so that it's not showing off the cloth body in any way. And I guess that gives it a little bit more of a French flair. Am I stereotyping? But she is French, so I don't know if it's that weird to say. I just want it to look nice. There we go. The tag. Really big. Well, not big, but there you go. So that's the two ways you can wear this outfit. I think I like it better on her head. So I'll try, when I put it on Leonie, I don't know if it's later in the video or later in my life, but I'll try both, see what I prefer. Very cute. And now the next outfit, I'm going to go to an outfit that's still available, and it's it's tied from a limited edition outfit that they did. It's like the only historical outfit, I believe. The thing about this outfit is Maplelea has this sort of section on their website called Heritage Outfits. And this one is Leonie's heritage. It's called Pioneer Québécois, I believe. And she mentions in her journal, in the original pages that it comes with, that her family is, colonists from the 1600s. I don't know when exactly this was. I'm sure it'll say in the journal pages that come with it. But I also think this is from what I see in pictures, a really detailed, high quality outfit. And it was like I was looking for the excuse to buy it because I don't really know if I would ever display her in it, but it doesn't mean I have to. And it is really nice. It doesn't mean I have to display Leonie in it necessarily, but it is really high quality. Okay, let me stop being obnoxious and just show you. So I'm not going to know the names of each piece as I pull it out, but it will say on the journal page. And I just want to show you that it's fully lined. I think that's what really caught my eye. Even though I don't love things like embroidery necessarily, I love the way a lined outfit looks. Maybe it just makes it look richer, I don't know. And I don't know if you can see what kind of fabric this is. It's like I'm sure somebody out there would know. It looks like a woven fabric, very soft, very nice, very thick, and just looks like if it's a Pioneer winter, she would still be warm. And it comes with this bonnet, which is really cute. Got a little bow detail up there. I don't know if it's focusing properly. I'm trying not to go through it too fast, but I'm eager to see it all. And camel, shimmy, I forget what this is called, but you would have seen them on other historical type of outfits, maybe in Felicity's collection probably Felicity's collection. So I feel like I should know what these are called. This looks like it wraps around her neck. I'm not going to call it a bib, but it's like a bib. Oh, it doesn't tie up, so it's got a snap button on it. That's good to know. And then there's an apron in here. Oh, okay, so it goes and snaps around her neck. That sounds awful. A pair of tights, which are going to fit funny on American Girl because of the limb difference. And these, there's a heel, so I don't know how a doll's going to stand in this. Luckily, I have a doll stand. They're leathery, they're long and narrow, and the buckle, sort of like pilgrim boots, I think. Is that the style? I was about to call them witch boots. That's always laughing at myself. And I'm like, that's not what they're called. Think before you speak. And then the buckle is embroidered instead of being an actual metal buckle. But very nice. Little kitten heel, we would call it nowadays. They probably didn't call it back then. And a striped overskirt. I'm sure that's what that's called. And it's not lined, but it's still it feels very thick. Like it's an impressive thickness and weight. There's a little bit of weight to it. And I just want to look at the journal pages to see if it tells me anything that I should have said just then of what's included. And it's black on red writing in my bright room, or maybe it's my contact lenses. So yeah, I can't really read everything. Mantelette, chemise. That's the word I was looking for. Did I say chemise? Maybe I'll watch it back and listen. Bonnet, tights, silver buckle shoes, long striped skirt, white scarf, apron. Okay, so I didn't really say anything embarrassing. I wasn't that far off. There was no special word that I was searching for and it didn't come out. And I tried so hard not to use the same doll, the American Girl doll I always use for some reason when I'm doing historical outfits, but I think it's her short hair and her cute little freckly face, but I'm just going to use Kit again. And because of what's in here, I'm going to remove her, what are these called? Underoos? Bloomers. No, are they bloomers? Knickers? One or the other. So that she can wear everything. I just have to remember that those are hers when I take this off her. So as I said, every tag is going to say what outfit it belongs to. And I don't think there's much I need to say about at this point. There are other things I plan to say about Leonie later. So I probably will just try to get through this very fast. So like I mentioned, it's going to be a very different fit. They're going to be up to her armpits because that's how the tights usually fit on an American Girl doll from Maplelea. And you know what? There's going to be all this stuff over it, so I don't know why I'm pulling them all the way up anyway. You won't even see them really in the end, but I want her bloomers back on. Knickers. I don't know what the word would be. But bloomer sounds like not the right, well, not the right ear for Kit, but I don't think they would have worn anything like this during the era when this was a thing. So her chemise, I forget what I called it before. Okay, so it was easy to put on. It's very thin. It's like almost like what I imagine people wear when they get baptized or something. That's what it's making me think of. But I'm not religious, so I'm not speaking from personal experience. So that probably sounded really weird, a really weird comparison. But that's what it's making me think of. I've seen movies. Oh, and this is I think she was called the anniversary kit. So she's got the strings in her neck, but she's not an old version of Kit. She was a re-release. So it's very thin. You can see right through it, just so you know. But I guess it doesn't matter because you're going to put this over it. Let me refer to the pages. Yes, so I think this goes next. Keeping in mind that her arms are so much thicker, that went on a lot easier than I expected, especially going over that other layer underneath. And then there's just some Velcro in the back. And I'm trying to cheat by looking there. Okay, so maybe the skirt goes on next. And now we'll go with the apron, like as I said it. Nope, that would be the back. It's a good thing there was a picture. I mean, I also have the catalog beside me, but I always panic and grab the closest thing. And it snaps, and I think it's supposed to kind of sit on her shoulders. I don't know. In the catalog, it kind of looks like it's underneath this the overshirt, the mantelette, the jacket. But on the journal pages, it looks like it definitely looks like it's over it. So I guess you have options. And then the apron should be easy enough, right? And let me just get her on a doll stand before I put on her bonnet and her shoes. I just wanted the bow to be sticking out properly. Well, what looks properly to me. Oh, and I guess because, maybe because Kit's a little bit thicker. Oh, I think I didn't do up the, what do they call it, mantelette? I didn't do it properly. It's okay. She'll still be aesthetically pleasing, I think, by the time I finally get done with this. Let's see if I can, it might be because she's thicker, I don't know. I'm not confident doing this up. But anyway, you'll understand. She'll look right when she's done. And I think this is part of the reason I chose her too, was so that it would be easier to hide her hair. I think it goes this way. Ugh. I don't like the pointiness on this white bonnet. Let's see if I can, this is how it goes. Maybe back like that. Yeah, if I had to do it with Leonie, I guess they would have tied her hair back. I feel like I'm doing this so wrong. I'm doing this wrong. Because there's a bow, I thought it should be showing, but very obviously much better. I'm leaving all that in just so you can see how ridiculous I am sometimes. How I don't think properly. There we go. It looks fine, I think. I think I just like seeing bows so much that I was about to make her look really scary. And now let's see how the shoes go on, because similar to the witch costume, someone told me that because their foot isn't as long, it's not as bad of a fit as I expected for this kind of a shoe. Sorry, Kit. Let's see if I can get it on there. Take a little bit of work. And I know it will fit because Maplelea makes sure that it does. And it is, I see it's sort of spreading. It's getting on there. Hopefully not spreading too much that I can't put it back on a Maplelea girl after. This little kitten heel. So it does go on. It just takes a little wriggling it back and forth. Am I putting this on? You know what's weird? I'll show you after. I might have to show you now. So if you look at the shoe, there are two slits, so like where it functions like a tongue. But on the first shoe I put on, there's only one slit, I think, unless I see what I did. It was telling me that I did something wrong. The tongue was folded under. All the clues were there. I just had to use my brain, which is the hard part. Much better when the tongue's not folded under, except I think this is still folding under. You know what I'm going to do? I have my handy dandy cuticle pusher under here for moving eyes, and I'm just going to use it to pop everything out. I just kind of want you to see the little techniques in case you ever buy this outfit. Not that you have a cuticle pusher as handy as I do, but something like that. And I'm hoping that, because American Girl, they always have one foot bigger than the other, and I'm hoping that was the bigger foot, because I don't want this to be an even harder job. But at least I have my cuticle pusher right there. I think this is the bigger foot. So let me concentrate. Let's just say the cuticle pusher was very necessary, but totally worth it because the outfit looks... Oh, I just left the tongue folded under, of course. I thought I was all good to go, but now I think she is. But because of that, like little kitten heel or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to have to leave her on a doll stand too, which is what happened with Nikki back there. She's wearing the boots that have heels, and I just wanted her to look really good before I bring her forward, especially after all that finagling, let's say. But it's really cute, well done outfit. And even though there are no proper historical Maplelea dolls, this still would be a fun, let's say, like costume. Because in the journal pages, it talks about how I think they do this when they celebrate something with their family, and that's why she has this outfit. But yeah, really nice, right? I really do enjoy it. It was a little bit of work, especially brain work, to figure out what goes where and how to get certain things on, but the shoes, they do fit. It just does take a little bit of work. And so what it is, she goes to her Uncle Jean-Marc and her aunt Monique's the sugar cabana, and she gets to wear an old-fashioned costume and perform traditional Quebec folk songs for the visitors. Okay, so that's what it is. It's just she's dressing up and then singing because, like I said, she loves to sing. And so that, I think they came up with a really good reason or excuse to work in a really great historical heritage outfit for Leonie. Nice. But I should move on to the next stuff. Now, you may remember earlier in the video, I gave you a sort of warning or heads up that this isn't the original Leonie mold, and the one that they had, the one they started with, has... I said that she was spooky or scary. I don't remember what language I used. But the big thing that changed is the shape of her eyes. They've shrunken them and they're not so round. And I'm kind of giving you a little heads up right now because obviously I'm going to bring out her original mold doll, who is not only very different from the new Leonie, she's so different that I don't even call her Leonie in her name. I've renamed her in my Maplelea world, let's say. And let me just show you, she's wearing, well, I'll show you the doll. And I do want to bring her close just because she's very different and unique. And they updated her for a reason, but I have to say that I really appreciate her now, having her in person, and maybe it's just the difference, whatever. Here's the original Leonie, who would have been introduced in 2008. I think this is a 2009 doll, so very, very early on in the production. And so here, just what I was saying about her eyes being very round and very big. And I don't think they would have been this yellow when she first came out. They've faded over time. But again, there's something about it that's, maybe it's because I like spooky dolls and I like the spooky feeling that she gives me, and some of my older dolls that do. And so I'm going to bring them together now to show you how much she's changed. I believe people call this the third mold. And I do think I have the middle mold, but I've made that Leonie into a boy who will come a little bit later in the video as well. So I don't know if I'll show them all three at once, but here are the two side by side. So this is Leonie in the pink, and this is her cousin, such a stereotypical name, so is the beret, Geneviève, but she goes by V for short, because, like, look at them. They don't even look like sisters, but I have to have them related somehow because she is Leonie, so she's her cousin V, short for Geneviève. And she's wearing let me open up this jacket, because the jacket's not part of it. It's her, I believe it's her, like I said, the KL1 will be the doll and the starter outfit. And I believe this is the KL2 item, her jacket. So her starter outfit underneath, what has always been, oh, I got her skirt really low so that it shows underneath her jacket. I'm so weird. So I can show you now that it's, it's got underwear attached. That's why it's not coming up any higher. But anyway, she's got this, I should take off the jacket. Someone's going to try on the jacket after anyway. But her starter outfit originally had this cherries skirt, and what does it feel like? I guess it's like a knit sweater. And just so you know, I don't have her boots. I'll show them to you in a second just to remind you from the, I hope this isn't traumatizing anyone because she is very unique. And so she didn't come with her boots. The person I bought her from, I bought a lot of stuff from her, maybe other things in this video too. So the beret is Molly's, just like this bag is Molly's. So I think it's the only real time that I have my Maplelea dolls have stolen American Girl stuff instead of the other way around like I usually do. And I know the beret is stereotyping, but it looks cute, okay? And so she's wearing, I don't even know if these are American Girl tights. Oh, I think they're American Girl tights looking at the pattern on them. And then these are a pair of Alexi shoes. And a funny thing is so I don't mind Maplelea and me dolls wearing the other girls' clothes, but I don't like having them wearing each other's clothes, like if it's named characters for some reason. So that kind of bugs me. But like I said, I don't have the boots. And that doesn't bother me too much. I can live without the boots because I think the shoes are really cute. But I do want to show you the boots. And because of their feet are so different in size, sometimes the boots can look really just big. Just like the motorcycle boots I showed you a long time ago. So these are kind of the same thing. I think they were leather, so they probably haven't all aged very well, but they're nice. They're big boots, and mine doesn't have them. And so along with her cousin V existing in her world, V also has a best friend who is Winter. And I've shown her many times on here because she was one of my first Maplelea dolls, and I love her very much. And she's another one I can't recommend enough. I can't praise enough because she's so pretty. And the way she has a boy doll sort of coming up later, who I think it's her brother, so it's also her cousin. She doesn't have I was going to make it her brother, but then I got her journal. I was like, oh, she doesn't have a brother, so never mind. And so she's wearing, so the big boots that I showed you before, the motorcycle boots that are on Nikki, who are kind of hidden behind V right now. So those big black boots went with this outfit. And this outfit is called the Concertina jacket. And again, it's music themed because of her. It comes with those boots, this jacket, this velvet kind of bag, velour bag, and this hat up here. And as soon as I got it, I put it on her, and I'm not even going to try an American Girl doll because I don't want anyone touching it but her. It's like too possessed, if you ask me. That's just the way I feel about it. So it's Winters. Sorry, her brother's name is River. That's why I just almost called her River. So River, you'll meet later. It's her brother. And then I want to show another retired outfit that I'm going to put on an American Girl doll. It's like the only one from this segment right now that I'm going to show. So let me get V out of the way just so that I have room to show you. It's not to stop scaring you, but maybe that's a bonus if you don't like her. Sometimes these dolls take a while to grow on you. I understand. Does this have the name on the tag? Good. Cirque du Monde. So Circus of the World, World Circus, is the name of this outfit. And it is 3 pieces. Mine has a little bit of pilling. The seller I got it from sold it very cheap, but I wasn't upset about it at all. It comes with they're a pair of really nice jeans, like a dark blue with fuchsia, bright pink stitching, and then M's on the back for Maplelea. So I just want to show you the details up front, up close before I put it on a doll. And the nice thing is when they're sort of tight, what do you call them, skinny jeans, with the tapered or straight legged at the bottom, they have Velcros. I have quite a few of their pants now that do this, which is a relief, especially if you're going to put it on American Girl dolls. And then 2 Velcro squares to do up the front, to do up the zipper. And then this is like a side tying shirt, but this is where a lot of the pilling happens. And this can happen because there's so much Velcro on their clothes. And another thing I've noticed is sometimes over like when I find the older pieces, over time the Velcro has really weakened, and I don't know if that means there's stuff in there I need to sort of pull out. Like there are a lot of threads that got caught in over the years, and so they can't reach properly. But this is one of the pieces that does that. And then this jacket, which also has some pilling. I'm just pointing out all you wouldn't always find it in this condition. I have since seen it in much better condition. Did I show the shirt up close first? Let me show you that little side tie there, and you can see the little things dangling, which I could trim off one day if it really bothers me. But I haven't had anyone wearing it yet because I've been accumulating Leonie stuff for this video so that I could react to it on camera. Now here's the jacket I was talking about, which zips down. And I'm going to put it on my Alessia doll, who is a sort of customized, is she 119? She's the Nenea mold with the blue hair that I've just replaced with, it's a plain brown American Girl wig. I think it's a Josefina Truly Me doll who originally owned this wig, but I bought the wig loose, so I don't know for certain. And she's wearing parts of an American Girl outfit, and the jewelry is by Integrity Toys. I like to say these things because if I forget one little thing, people will ask in the comments, and I'll be like, why did I overlook that? I'm hoping that the jeans will fit over these socks, but if not, I guess she doesn't need to wear the socks with the outfit. You'll understand. And I guess I should have said that at one point too. No, I'm not going to bother. Is that try not to pay too much attention to the shoes because sometimes they won't be Maplelea, and most of the outfits don't come with shoes anyway. This one's complete though. Just thought I'd throw that in there. And now let's see how this fits on an American Girl. I love when the shirts go on that easily, especially these tight sleeves. They went over her hands, even her spread hand, no problem. Because once again, I've forgotten to bring out a plastic sleeve to keep their fingers from gnawing away at the sleeves of the shirts. And I've been curious to see how these will fit on their shorter legs. Probably would have helped if I put both legs on at once though. Velcroed open, I love that. And they're so nice, like they feel like such a high quality pair of jeans. Like if I had a pair of jeans that felt like this myself, I would have paid a lot for them. But my jeans don't feel like this usually, if you know what I'm saying. So they're a little droopy at the bottom, which that's my personal taste. I love how that looks. I feel like maybe because I grew up at a time where if you wore short pants that were too short, it's kind of something to make fun of. Floods or high waters. Oh, and the necklace is going to keep running to the back. I should have known that. I don't love the way the shoes look with it, but as I warned you before, it's not about the shoes sometimes. Ooh, this was a really bad idea because there's a strap that, you know what, you can also wear them unvelcroed, I guess, and have them be little flares, bell bottoms, whatever you called them in your generation. And the reason I chose her to wear this outfit is because I thought she would be a nice match to go with the girls who are up here, if she was their friend, if she was part of their world. She already has her friend trio, so this is not the case, but I just thought she would be a cute little mix with them. And because I haven't really featured an enamel doll in a while, I don't think. I say that, I probably have. And the sleeves are a little bit long on the jacket. I don't know how to explain the feeling of the jacket. It's kind of a funny feeling. I don't think this is going to close up because of their thicker arms and because she's already got a layer underneath, which is too bad because it's too long, so it doesn't really have anything holding it up. But if you're like me and you don't love this jacket so much, okay, I got this one to squeeze. Nope, it popped open. And the Velcro is fine on this one, so I don't think that's the case. But anyway, I think it's going to be fine. Let me just get her on her doll stand so she doesn't face plant. And as I should be obvious, it's just when you buy this outfit, it's just be the three piece at the top, the jacket, and the jeans. The jeans I love, and I think they look really cute. The top is okay, especially if you get one in a better condition than I got mine. The jacket, I think I could just do without it, at least on an American Girl. So let me bring it up forward. And then the other thing I wanted to show on her with this outfit underneath, take off the jacket, of course, is the jacket I showed you that V was wearing earlier, which is, now I don't even think I said it before, did I? It is KL2, as I expected, Leonie's accessory pack. That's all. I'm sure it came with more, but I only have the jacket. I probably came with a bag or something. I don't remember seeing it on the wiki when I looked it up. I don't think they don't have everything on the wiki, by the way. Some things are just more obscure than others. And this is my first time seeing this on an American Girl doll. And I have been curious about how it would fit, except that I've had it on V over there for a long time. Oh, ever since I got V, I should say. Ooh, that spread finger. This is that spread hand. And the plastic sleeves would not have helped because it would just add more. There we go. Sometimes it just takes dramatic grunting and faces, and then it's all good. Oh, she looks so chic. Except I probably should have minded her hair more. Now it's going to be a mess. I think Alessia would have harmed me while I was sleeping if I let you see her all busted like that, so I had to fix her hair. Trust me, she wouldn't have liked that. And the jacket, like I said, looks so chic. It's a really nice fit. It's a little bit more cinched than it should be because of the doll stand. Let me see if I can cover that up, make it look how it's supposed to look. But I like it. It doesn't have to be with these jeans, but it looks nice with the jeans. That's not what I mean, but let me show you and you can judge for yourself. How about that? Sometimes I get so excited when I'm looking at it myself that I forget that I have to share. But I want to share, so here she is. Isn't that nice, right? So if you ever see Leonie's accessory pack, It's a shame they don't sell this anymore. A lot of their, I don't think any of their accessory packs are sold anymore. Even Charlesy, who's the newest girl, hers just retired within the last few months. Really like this. I mean, I like it on V2. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm really excited to see how it looks on her. But as you know, I got plenty more to get through. All right, it's time to move on to the boys for a bit. I'm going to open Leonie's pond hockey set. Hope I said that right. And even though I'm saying it's time to move on to the boys, this is Leonie's. She plays hockey. Girls can play hockey. But the real thing, the real truth is, there aren't always a lot of boy clothing options. So whenever I get the chance, usually when it's something sporty, I will put it on boy dolls because I like boy dolls and I have quite a few. And so this is going to go on to two of the boys from Leonie's world. And so to show you what comes with it, aside from the journal pages, of course, and this is KL36. What does it say? Hockey outdoors. And it says pond hockey, so I'm going to include skates, which aren't Leonie's, but they're still fine. And so to anyone out there who doesn't know, American Girl also has a hockey set, which comes with a hockey stick, but it's not pre-taped. So this is nice that it's already taped because I had a heck of a time taping up my American Girl hockey stick, probably because I've never played hockey in my life. But so two, it's a set of two, and it comes with two of these sticks that look pretty much identical. Yeah, they're identical. And a little hockey puck that has the M and the Maple Leaf logo on it. That's like the Maple Leaf logo. And two shirts, one red and one white that just say Canada. And so my understanding about how jerseys work is you have your home jersey and your away jersey. So I don't know which one's which. Maybe it says it in there, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's not even what the case is. That's just what I understand. And even though I'm going to be putting these on two of the boys from her story, and I'll get to them in a second, I'm first going to try it on an American Girl, just in case anyone is an American Girl boy, Logan, just in case anybody is curious about or likes this set and they don't know how the jersey will fit. I'm going to take off this shirt because he's wearing it for a different reason. It's a handmade outfit, by the way. But just in case anyone is curious how this fits because of the limbs. And what else? Yeah, it looks like it's going on fine. And it's thick enough. See, I tried the white one on him to see if it's see-through at all. Oh, it's really cute. Really cute fit. It's really like baggy looking on him. Yeah, this looks like, I expected it not to look this good, to be honest, which is part of the reason I wanted to show it. So it's really cute. So if you just want a jersey to Canada up your American Girl dolls, cute little idea. But like I said, it's not for him, and he'll come back in a second. I don't think he needs his shirt even for what I'm putting him in, so we'll see in a minute. He's got a very special set outfit that he's gonna wear. So now I'm going to explain a couple things. Let me talk about, well, I've already got the white shirt out. So I don't want to call him Leon because calling Leonie as a boy Leon is pretty lame. But this is, and I've shown him, he's been in the background, so you may have noticed him and just have never introduced him. So I'm still playing with his name. That, like I said earlier, this is Vi's brother. And this is like the sort of middle mold of Leonie. So I don't know too much what the differences are. He's wearing an American Girl boy wig. And I've trimmed his eyelashes a lot because I thought he looked a little bit like Leonardo DiCaprio when turned into a boy. And to me, Leonardo DiCaprio, when he was younger at least, looked like he didn't really have much going on in the eyelash department. And do you see that little thing on the side of his face, that little green part? I've noticed that in some older Maplelea dolls, they have that. And the seller didn't disclose it. One day I'm going to try to, the doll was really cheap, so I wasn't too miffed. And it was like a sort of an experiment anyway. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about him as a boy. I like it. I think he really suits, I think this mold really suits both boy and a girl. And so I'm going to try maybe that, what do you call it? Is it baking soda and peroxide treatment one day? I just forget because it's so subtle, I guess you could say, that I unless I'm looking for it, I forget that it's there. And another thing to point out before I start putting this outfit on him is he's got sort of one of his eyes has faded. So he almost has, it's called heterochromia, where one looks a little bit more of a green or a hazel, and the other one looks a little bit more of a light brown, like to a yellow color. So that's another cute feature that he has. I think it's a cute feature anyway. So this is one boy who's going to get this version of the outfit over here. And like I said, skates. I already had one pair, so I bought another one so that they can both play pond hockey or whatever you want to call it. It's another thing. And then I'm going to talk about the other boy who is part of Leonie's world, and he's also very special. This is KMF1. So to give a little bit of background, I've shown this doll in I did a video called An Actual Doll Dream Came True, where I just got every doll on my grail list all at once. It was an amazing experience. I will never forget it. Core memory. I meant it then and I still mean it. And there's a long story about KMF1, but KMF1 was this was the original sculpt for the friend molds, and this is the only friend mold doll I'm going to be showing in this video, I believe, so that doesn't really matter. So this was originally a girl, because this sculpt mold was originally used for a girl. So I used the darker wig from the American Girl boy doll. I want to say Truly Me 74, because I customized him to have an even darker wig than this. And so the reason I wanted this particular doll is because this is the only time they've done the Friend 1 mold with a deeper skin tone. It's more of a medium. It's not dark, it's not deep, but it's medium. And so I thought he would be perfect for Leonie's world because, as I mentioned before, now I have a lot to talk about in this little segment. I hope I don't have to stop and just talk. So what I mentioned before, that it mentions that has First Nations in her lineage as well as Irish too. So she's multi cultural in her background. You need to see these, right? It's just hockey pages, hockey outdoors. I did show you actually. So I like to think that she also has more Métis family members, and so that's why Jimmy, I guess is what he would go by, is her more on her, like in the lineage, he has more Métis in him. In my opinion, that's just how I see him. And so to anyone who doesn't know about the Métis tribe, because it's a really interesting thing too. You know what? I have another pair of skates that I have to open up, so let me just do that before I start talking. In case you're curious, they come with these journal pages that I already have, so I don't need to open them again. But because I'm like transfixed now, I have to blab about what I want to blab about. There's so much to talk about in this little hockey part. So Métis people, they are let's call it a newish tribe, because they were the indigenous people of Quebec who, I guess you would say, had children and families with the Europeans, the French who came. So the Métis are sort of indigenous and European background. And there's a really interesting reason why it happened, how that all came about. See, Canada was built on the fur trade, and so it was beneficial, I believe, to both parties. So as you see, it's a little bit shorter on their arms because they're longer. So it almost looks cuter on the American Girl, perhaps. I like both, but I'm just trying to draw your attention to whatever you may think. So there was a benefit to I don't know, matching up. I don't know how to word it because I live in the modern world and I just don't know what would be offensive to talk about from way back when. So that's why I like to think she has Métis in her background, because that's what was happening. That tribe was, let's say, forming, a few hundred years ago, a few hundred years ago actually. And so talking about the fur trade, that was why they were sort of interracially dating. I don't know how else to put it. And what really became interesting is when the British started settling, colonizing, invading, I don't know how you want to word it, the indigenous people, the First Nations people, were siding with the French settlers to fight back against the British. And it's like, you're bad when the indigenous people are siding with their original colonizers, or whatever you would say. And so that harkens back to what I was talking about in the beginning, way back in the beginning. I don't know how long ago it would be at this point, about how there's the Citadel, and a lot of Quebec City feels like a military base, because that is what was happening at the time of the British settlers or colonizers, invaders, whatever you want to call it. These are loud because they're actual metal. They're very high quality skates. I love them. And I know that because they're my second pair. So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about when I got to the segment where I talk about her cousin, and he's not related to Vi. I'm sorry, he's related, but it's not her brother. That's her brother. So they're cousins, and that's why they would play hockey together. I'm not going to be able to look this over him because you know what it is. He's taller now with the skates. And now I also want to see, whew, I'm gonna scrape up my marble table. If he can hold, they would hold this. Oh, usually there's a curve, right? Curve? I don't think it's going to curve. And it's made out of real wood, by the way. I don't know if that was obvious. That's how you hold a hockey stick, right? I wouldn't know. Anyway, so I think that's going to be good enough for the video. They're just posing with it. They're just like, they're not playing in the moment. They're just kind of posing with their sticks in between periods. That's what hockey has, right? Periods. And the other thing I wanted to talk about when I got to dressing my dolls in hockey gear is now I want to talk a little bit more about Montreal, because as I said earlier, I'm from Toronto, and you may have even known that if you've seen my other videos. And talking about modern day Montreal, so Quebec and Ontario, Toronto, Ontario, is there's a sort of, from what I understand, there's a sort of rivalry between Toronto and Montreal. I'm most particularly going to talk about when it comes to hockey. So there are the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs, to anyone who doesn't know. And I do know that I'm not into hockey, but I know that whenever Toronto and Montreal play, especially when they make it to the playoffs and they're like the team in the playoffs, it is the biggest deal when the match, is it called a match, game, whatever, is going to be between them. So I don't know if it's because they're both, listen, I'm not into hockey, so if I say anything stupid or even offensive because I'm just wrong, it's just because I'm not into it. It's what I glean and what I hear from other people who love hockey. So if you're listening, I'm really sorry if I say anything stupid. But people always talk about the Maple Leafs like they're not very good. I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I'm just saying I'm in Toronto and people are always complaining here that they're not very good. But that could just be because they're upset about, one game that happened. So when it comes down to Toronto and Montreal battling in hockey, it is a huge deal here. And probably in Montreal too, I would imagine, but I can't speak for Montreal. I've never lived there. I've just visited it quite a few times. But then talking more about that rivalry, so Toronto, again, I'm from Toronto, so I think it's okay that I say this. We just have a kind of bad reputation around all of Canada, even within the rest of the province. So we kind of have a bad reputation for being obnoxious, maybe. I don't know. I can't speak for what other people say about us, but arrogant. We're kind of like the mean people. We're the cold, not cold as in the temperature. It's cold here too, but we're cold as in distant and not as friendly as the rest of Canada. And I would agree with that, because when people come here, they do talk about it. Is that fine? It's going to work, right? It's going to do. Because I have another piece of hockey stuff to dress another doll in that I'm really excited about. And I will come back to the Montreal conversation when I dress the next doll, because I will need something to talk about when I figure out that outfit. So this is really cute. I'm really happy to have it, but now my brain is on the stories that I was telling. And I'm going to get these guys out of here so that I have enough room to dress the next doll, who is going to be the Logan doll I showed earlier. And he's going to wear Leonie's winter outfit, snowsuit. I have a bad feeling they're going to come crashing down, but I'll deal with that if it happens. So first, let me talk about the snowsuit itself. And that's why he probably didn't need to have anything that he was wearing. And you're also going to have to ignore the shoes, because I don't have boots for him to wear. So this is called, okay, it doesn't have a name. It's just KL30, which according to the wiki is Laurentien winter, Laurentien. I don't know if I should say it with a French accent and embarrass myself, but it's sort of in a between time when it came out, because it at least said the number on here, the KL30, so the 30th piece from Leonie's collection, but it doesn't have the name on there quite yet. And so the pieces that come with it are these gloves, mittens. Well, they're not really mittens, because they're not as, they're that material. They're like a glove material. Snow pants with suspenders. And then this coat that I don't know if you're making out if you can make it out from there, that it's got a checker pattern on it. So it's really got a lot of fun detail to it. And I'm just going to put it straight on him, because it's probably going to be tight on him anyway, because it won't fit over pants, is what I'm saying. And when I have had this on display on Leon, by the way, I don't know if Leon is going to stay his name, because it's just too much like Leonie. I need to think of a really nice, very stereotypical French name for him. Why not? And I had it on him without pants underneath, meaning I know it looks really good on him. And let's see how it fits an American girl. Well, I talk a little bit more about Montreal, because I feel like Montreal is one of the most famous Canadian cities in the world, if not the most. I would imagine people who, if you know Toronto, you definitely know Montreal. I would say, but that's from what I hear. Like I always know that people are like, "Oh, you're from Canada, Montreal," and it's like, "No, Toronto." And then sometimes they've heard of it, and sometimes they haven't. Humbling. But what I was saying before about Toronto being, having a bad reputation around the country is that we are kind of known for thinking we're the center of the country or not the universe, but like, I'm not saying I feel that way. I don't know anyone who feels that way, but I do understand why it comes across that way to the rest of the country because everybody is super friendly. And I have visited other parts of the country, and everyone is just, you walk down the street and people, oops, one of the buttons popped off. I've been having this button pop off, so it's not going to bother me. I'll try to fix that later. I visited other parts of the country, and people will literally say to you on the street, like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And if you do that in Toronto, people are like, "What do you want?" Or I'm about to get scammed. So I'm just saying we have a very different atmosphere here, and that's probably because we have so many people, like a heavier population, and people from all over the world. So I would say the thing about Toronto, especially versus Montreal or other cities too, is here it's kind of like we're a mind your business kind of city, which people probably don't expect because we're Canadian. But I do think we are probably, don't want to say that, whoa, I don't like how this looks on an American Girl. He looks like, does anybody know A Christmas Story when the little brother gets put in all that stuff for winter? I don't even think these are going to go on him. The gloves are going to go on him. So yes, we have a bad reputation, and we especially have a bad reputation in Montreal. I'm going to talk first objectively about our Toronto's relationship with Montreal, and then my own personal experiences, because I have a different, let's say I'm hanging out in different areas of Montreal. So people, from what I understand, and maybe this has changed, it's been a long time since I've talked about this with anyone, so I may be telling false or old information, that when people go to Montreal, Torontonians especially, they go there to party and be a little bit too wild and a little bit in your face and maybe aggressive. So I just think we have a sort of bad reputation for that when we go around anywhere else. Oh, this is terrible. This is so terrible. Not the story I'm telling, the way he looks, but let me just get shoes on him just so he's... so there's something there to stop the huge pants from going past. So to any American Girl collectors who just buy Maplelea stuff, I wouldn't suggest, I wouldn't suggest this one. You can decide if you feel differently. And there's a button here that's popped, so I just have to fix that, but I'll do that later. So he just looks like he's drowning, like he's been buried in snow. You know what? He's not going to be on camera. Sorry, Logan, it's not you. It's the outfit. It's my fault for putting you in the outfit. So that's sort of one thing to talk about. But first, if I have anything else to say about that, before I get that far, it's like I'm brushing things out of the way because I'm really excited for this next thing that I have to show you. I've mentioned many times on here, even in this video, I'm sure plenty of times already, that I'm not into sports, but I did grow up in a hockey-loving home, and I was the only one who didn't love hockey, and I almost have childhood trauma connected to hockey, but I do love hockey for my dolls. And Maplelea has a hockey set that I was ready to start building from scratch because I just wasn't I wasn't seeing it being sold as a set anywhere. But then about a month ago, at the time I'm recording this, something miraculous happened. Somebody sold the complete set, shipping included. I don't know why there's all this fluff on here and I didn't notice it before, whatever. And it was such an amazing price. I think $100 Canadian shipped, the whole thing. And I can show you to start with, because if you remember the hockey sticks from a moment ago, I think those just say Maplelea, but this one says Maplelea Girls. But too bad a boy is getting it because, like I said, not enough boy stuff. And I'm not going to show this on an American Girl doll. I'm probably not going to be able to like figure it out on camera, but I am going to show you the American Girl version of this because I have that, and my dream was to find this and have them sort of playing against each other at one point, and now I can do that. So here's the helmet, the white helmet, and I feel like this is a piece that doesn't come up very much. Don't ask me what this stuff's called. Protective gear, I guess what I can call it. And I believe the pieces are very similar to what comes with the American Girl doll. And another jersey, feels way different. The other ones, this feels like a cotton knit or something. And the other ones they both feel like um, polyestery kind of stretchy material jersey. And then this has a little under the little peekaboo. I'd never noticed that before, so that's why I'm a little taken with it. A little peekaboo undershirt. Leggings. Sorry, the American Girl is right there, and I'm just trying to compare everything. There's the boy in the American Girl outfit. Shorts. That's what they're called, right? Oh, it's called KL3. Oh, so it was really one of her early pieces, hockey gear. No wonder I couldn't find it for so long. And so it came with skates. So these are actually her skates this time. And more protective gear. Shin guards, maybe. Knee pads. Knee pads. Elbow pads. Gloves. I'm going to guess this goes around his neck. A neck protector. Oh, no. And another glove. Another pad of some kind. And another puck, which feels, it's actually like a puck. But not as hard as a puck would be because, so it's a little bit bendy is what I'm saying. It's very rubbery, but like a thick rubber and not as hard as the pucks my brother had from what I remember. So one thing I guess I can compare the American Girl puck. Why are they so different in size? This is just like a plastic piece of, just a plastic little round piece, almost like a checker almost, kind of. And it's got the star, and this has the Maplelea M and leaf. And then the bag is, this feels more like a bag, to be honest. Like the way my brother's hockey bags felt. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the difference in material. I don't know why this one's so much bigger. They're essentially the same things inside it. So American Girl stars, and then just Maplelea. Oh, Leafy Maplelea or Maplelea Girl. They didn't know they were going to do any boy dolls, I'm sure, for a long, long time. And I'm going to attempt to dress him, and then compare them after. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm going to be cheating. Oh, I'll show him better after when I get some of the gear on him. This is a KMF 9. And I rewigged him with a wig from Etsy. I believe it was Doll of a Kind. And the wig was quite big, and so I had to really play with it to get it to sit on his head. And I believe he has what you would call hockey hair, so he is the perfect doll to go in this outfit. He also has a lot of stains on his face that I wasn't able to get out with acetone and any other means. So I will probably also try the baking soda and peroxide method on him one day too. Okay, so luckily this one had tags, so I think this is going the right way. This is the knee pad, shin guard, one or the other. I don't know. I never played hockey in my life, like I said already. I've never even learned how to skate, and I think I'm going to get deported just for saying that as a Canadian. I just have too many embarrassing, traumatic stories of trying to skate when I was a kid that I will never, ever try it again. All right, what goes on next? Let's put this on next. So this is his, like, body armor. Is that what they call it? It's body armor, right? And everything velcros up, so I think that should be pretty easy to get on him. While I figure this out, I guess I can talk a little bit more about my experiences with Montreal. Why not? So, as I said, I've been there at times, and I've seen the kind of behavior where I'm like, you're from Toronto, aren't you? It's your first time here, isn't it? And another thing about Montreal that I think people should know is because I'm in my mid-40s, so I've been going there since I was quite young, so a long time. And the attitude has really changed a lot over the years. Oh, there's a little hook here. Interesting. Has changed a lot because when you used to go to Montreal, you would always hear that people would frown upon not speaking French, like, oh, it's one of the Anglophone or English-speaking Canadians who come here and they don't, we are expected to speak English and they're not expected to speak French. So that was a little bit of one of the things I always heard. And that has totally changed now, whether it was true or not. I feel like it might not have been, though. My bias would be because when I would go to Toronto, I'm thinking this goes on the neck. You can rip me. What was I trying to say? You can roast me all you want if I'm totally wrong. But it fits. I think it's right. So when I used to go and hang out, with my own people, let's say. And I would say within the gay community, there's a lot of camaraderie between Toronto and Montreal. Like so when I would go to, let's say one of my dance parties when I was at that age, and I would say I was from Toronto, people would be like, oh, I love Toronto. But if I was in like a cafe or something, and then they'd be like, where are you from? And I'd be like, Toronto. They'd be like, oh. And I'd be like, yes, I get it. Don't worry. I'm not even offended. I've been here long enough. I think this is the back, isn't it? I think I already failed. This went on backwards. Not because I'm talking, but because it might even be right. I don't know. I'm going to turn it around because I think it looks kind of funny. So I've always had positive experiences in Montreal, and it's because of the difference between the camaraderie with me and my people and otherwise. I was right, because that's a butt, right? That's the butt shape. Oops. And the same thing goes for here. Like if somebody is visiting our neighborhood from Montreal and we hear their accent, we are immediately like, oh, you're from Montreal? That's amazing. Have you ever been to this place? Do you love this place? That's why my sort of bias is a little skewed about Montreal, and why when I hear that there's rivalry between hockey people, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, really? you have to ruin it for those of us who actually get along. But I think there's a little bit of like with love in a way. It's almost like family members teasing each other. You know what? It's probably not even true. I'm just wishful thinking here. Because the other thing about Quebec, and I hope this isn't a rude thing to talk about, is because they're very culturally different from the rest of Canada. You know, they were here first, as far as settlers go, and the way modern Canada is. And they have a very unique culture, their own language, not their own language, but they're the French-speaking province. And I think they often just feel like outsiders among the rest of Canada. So they, in case you don't know, they have a long history of wanting to become their own country. And I, speaking as a Canadian and Torontonian, I don't worry that it's going to happen, but I would be gutted. I would think it was terrible. I love Quebec and I love Montreal, especially probably. But now that I've seen more of Quebec myself, it's just a very beautiful province with a lot of history. And I think I'm feeling very confident in this, that everything else is going to make sense, that you don't even need to see it all. Because I was pretty much just rambling at that point, which honestly was the plan for this video, but I still have to edit this back at some point, so I don't want to hear me rambling anymore. I love it. I just have to make sure the shoulders don't go up a little too high. Maybe that's just how hockey uniforms look. I was about to say costume. I'm so athletic. I'm so pro athletic. And yeah, luckily I had the American Girl doll over there, because I think the American Girl doll the outfit, costume, whatever, uniform came with instructions. So now it was just following the instructions, or the visual cues of what he was wearing. And keep in mind, he's probably going to look a little bit better with the helmet on, but I just want to, now that he's clothed, I want to show him to you up closer and point out some of the flaws before you do. But anyway, very, very amazing uniform. I love it. I love all the details, because it is really detailed, and he looks like he looks like he has no neck, but it's because of the neck piece, I think. And so what I was saying, if you look around the corners of his mouth, there are pink stains that I don't even know what it was. If it was paint, if it was something more nefarious, because it wouldn't come off with acetone or magic eraser. There was nothing to get it off. And maybe the helmet's gonna hide it a little bit. And like I said, he already has helmet hair, so it's perfectly suitable for him to wear it at all time. Because this was also a lot of work to put on. So that's why I also think, ooh, he didn't have helmet hair before. Yeah, the helmet makes such a difference. I shouldn't have even shown you it without putting the helmet on first. And then there's a little snap in the back. And because they have grippy hands, I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to make him hold the stick. Or how easy this is going to be to snap. How does this snap? I feel like it's faulty. There are, you know how there's supposed to be, I don't know how to say it, but an innie and an outie, but these are both innies. So there's no, so like if you look at the back of this, it's a hole, And if you look at the back of this, it's also a hole. So I don't know. I'll have to figure something out. Clip it together or something, because he's never taking this off anyway. Or maybe there is a way to figure it out, a way that it clips, and I'm just a dummy when it comes to sports stuff. I am. I'm leaving all these embarrassing things in there so that you can see. Because I deserve all the roasting I'm going to get for this. So cute. I love it. I love it so much that I don't even care how embarrassed I should be right now. Yeah, I'll try to make him hold the stick after, because first thing I want to do is now, or not first, the next thing I want to do is compare this outfit uniform to the American Girl one. First of all, so here is River, Winter's brother, and then here is Rory. Oh, he's a lot heavier. I don't know why that is. So here are the two uniforms side by side. I should get out of the way so you can see it better before I bring it up. And yeah, he's really heavy. I think, yeah, he's quite a bit heavier. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's the stick. So I had this vision in my head for, I don't know, maybe 2 years now, of having the Maplelea outfit on one doll and the stars, the American Girl stars on the other. There's not much. I don't think there's much in the, let's say, generally speaking, I don't think there's been much competition between American and Canadian hockey. But what do I know? I don't know anything about hockey. So now, so it's like for them to be friends. It wasn't really to be like a rivalry or anything like that. And I think that's good now. I can move on to, because I'm already in winter, in the winter theme. So I'm going to move on to Leonie's two Christmas outfits, because she's got at least two of them, because I've managed to track down two of them. So this is going to be a time where we're kind of ignoring the shoes, because these outfits didn't come with shoes. And the first one I'm going to show you, I had to really stretch my imagination to make this work. And just so you know, I have two scrunchies, but I believe it only came with one, but the person I bought it from might have had two sets or something. And I'm going to go with the one that looks like it's been used less when I outfit the doll. And this is called Quebec Comfort. It's KL44. It's bought secondhand, so it may have a little fluffies and stuff all over it. And this is really comfy, fuzzy, fluffy, I think you call it like a teddy bear sweater. And then just a pair of tights that'll be extra tight on an American Girl. It's just little pieces of tape that are stuck on it. So as I said, name inside on the tag for these ones, thank goodness. And then I'm going to pair it with, these are from the trio set. They're not Leonie shoes, but I had them handy, so I'm just going to use them, because I was planning to use them on another Leonie outfit, but then I think it came with shoes, so that's why I didn't bother. No, I found better shoes. But anyway, so I'm going to pair this with that, even though, like I said, not the best match. And then the other one is called, I believe it's Révélon Red. I don't know what Révélon means. Sounds like revel. So I don't know. And it's a holiday outfit, I would imagine, because of the cranberry color. And it's got this really nice chemise sweater with it, and this skirt. And I think it only comes with these two pieces. So I'll show the details up close. And then the boots I'm going to pair with it are from another holiday outfit, but from an any doll Christmas outfit or holiday outfit. And they're so nice. I haven't even tried them on any doll yet, which is like astounding, because I've been so anxious. They're so shiny vinyl. They almost feel like rubber boots maybe, but like soft. And then there are buckles. I'm assuming, oh, they're Velcroed. Oh, thank goodness. I was not looking forward to having to unbuckle these for an American Girl doll. I did say that right. So first things first, I'm going to put this outfit on my Aaliyah doll, who is a custom Tiana. She's been customized with Kaya's eyes, because they are the darkest brown, at least out of all my dolls. It's the darkest brown I've ever seen, darkest brown pinwheel. And she's got Covey's wig. So Kaya's eyes, Covey's wig, and then it's just the doll herself. And it should be pretty easy to get on. And it's an older outfit too. So listen, it's probably silly that I'm showing you Christmas outfits or holiday outfits and winter outfits in the middle of, what is this, June right now? But I wanted to show it all at once. And then I'll probably show it again at the holiday season. Now that I have so many of these. Oh, really interesting sleeves. And you got to watch out for that spread hand. But it's a good fit. I like the way the sleeves kind of flare out like that. But I guess it's supposed to be tucked, the sweater's supposed to be tucked into the pants, or the skirt. You know what? I'll let you decide for yourself, think that this could be one of those times that the longer limbs don't necessarily make this look like a good fit for American Girl. The skirt's really big. How would I turn these? I'm just trying to think of how to make it look the best way possible. And I'm just making you sit through it. And let me get these boots on, which, like I said, should be pretty easy because of lovely Velcro. But seriously, look at it. Imagine I had to undo those buckles, which is what I was picturing when I pulled them out of the bag just now. Ooh. Oh, they go on like a dream. Oh, and it's from a holiday outfit whose name escapes me, but it's got a silver sequin skirt and then a reindeer sweater. If I remember, I'll go look it up later because I feel like people are going to want these boots. Wow. The boots don't go with the outfit, but they're the best part of the outfit. So let me bring her close. What a tease, because it doesn't even come with these boots. I love them. And you could dress these with anything. It's funny that they would come with a holiday outfit because they don't look very holiday-ish. But anyway, this is Revlon Red on Aaliyah, who is a custom Tiana doll, and she wears this ring all the time, and I just thought because it's the cranberry color, it would already suit her. It's Julie's mood ring, just in case you're curious. You know what it is? If I don't tell something, so if I skip over a little detail of something a doll is already wearing, people will ask, and they'll be like, oh, I knew I should have mentioned it. I was worried that it would be too many details, but it wasn't enough details. I'm not sure where this should hit. And these are Build-A-Bear stands, the one that look like they have ears. If you see them, I don't use them on screen very much because they're not the best fit. They're good if you're putting them up high, and it doesn't really matter. But other than that, I've shown mostly. I think they're Kaiser stands that I got on a Maplelea doll group, I believe, maybe American Girl. This is a Maplelea doll stand. See, another detail that I probably people are like, where'd you get the doll stands from? This is the actual Maplelea one, so they're a little bit higher, taller. Like the base is thicker than the American Girl stands, which are not in this video. So that's some useless information for you. And then I'm going to put this on her best friend in my doll story, Azora, who is a customized McKenna doll. She's got Tiana's wig, one of my favorite wigs, one of my two favorite wigs, maybe my second favorite wig, because my first favorite wig is 112, Julie 112. And then she's got Claudie's eyes because she and Claudie have the same skin tone, but Claudie has those beautiful dark dark brown eyes. And like I said, these tights are going to be extra tight because it's an American Girl leg, but they're still going to fit and look cute, I'm sure. I'm really curious to see how the teddy bear jacket's going to look. So I generally have to pull these up. Either they're going to bunch at the bottom. Oh no, okay, it looks fine. It looks okay. Maybe they bunch a little bit more than most people would want, especially for tights. And there's no top that goes underneath because I guess you would just zip this up and have it be a jacket. Listen, I like to show as many different types of like molds and stuff in my videos as possible because, just for variety. And to show different tastes. And this is a tight sleeve. I started with the hard hand first, which is good because if I get this on, it's downhill from here. And this isn't the only Maplelea winter coat that's like this. They have one on their website. Maybe it's sold out now because it might have been in the last. Oh boy. Is she just gonna have to wear it over her hands? It's like I want to show you, but I also want to pause so that you're not sitting here watching all this. I was about to say I'm going to pause, and then it went. It was like, don't do it. They wanted you to see that it wasn't completely impossible. But yeah, there's another one that they warn you that it may be too big because of the spread fingers. Just that one hand. See how easily that one went on? So bizarre. But then I have to pull in the lining because it was so tight that it just it went outward. Fits better, aside from that sleeve, which is always a pain, it fits better than I expected it to on the body part. She looks comfy and cozy. She looks like she's shivering. Like she's like, ugh. And you'll see that in a second when I show you. I always have to fix her hair. I like her hair a very specific way. And I'm very finicky. Oh, and I forgot that I said I was going to give her the scrunchie that looked like it was used less, but I lied. I think it's going to be easier to get over her hair if I use the one that's already stretched out, because her hairstyle is, I'm very picky about it. And so, ugh, shoes were such a mistake. But that doesn't matter. This isn't about the shoes. So yes, this is the one that's already stretched out. So I can go over her little bun at the top of her hair. Okay, it makes her hair look a little funny, but it's cute. I like it. So here's the fit of, what did I say? Reveron. Oh no, this one is Quebec Comfort. And doesn't she look comfortable? Even that scrunchie's so cute, huh? And so I like the fact that it came with two. It's not supposed to, but in case I ever put it on a doll who has pigtails of some sort. Getting close to the end, and I'm not even complaining because this has been a lot of fun. So give me 1 second to get the last girls ready. The same way Popstar Plaid was missing the black tights that came with it, so too is this outfit, which is so easy to find. I would say out of all the Leonie outfits, this one's the easiest. I see it for sale all the time. So you're wondering why I settled for the version, the time it was sold without the tights. It's because I don't really care about putting the black tights on with any of the outfits that I have. And I do have a pair of black tights already from another outfit. Anyway, this is KL56 Ile de Passage. What is that? Passage Island? That's what it sounds like to me. So picture this. It's like a, what would you call this? A tunic? Stripes, so that's looking really funny on my monitor. I hope it's not making anyone dizzy. It doesn't do that in person. And then it comes with these pink vinyl shoes. And like I said, black tights. But because I don't have the black tights, I'm going to put it on Gabrielle because she comes with denim tights, jeans. So I think this will be a good alternative if you don't want to have just the dress on its own. And I don't know if I have anything much else to say at this point. Oh, it opens all the way up. I was ready to struggle here. So like I said, you could probably find this at any time in any marketplace. Just if you want to complete, look out for the black tights. Went on really easily. And I don't think it needs tights. It could even have, well, leggings. I shouldn't say tights. I think I should say leggings. But you know what? It looks really cute on her. She was the right girl for the job because she's got the same fuchsia that's running through the dress and her hairband. That's why I chose her. Not just because of the jeans, dual purpose. And let's see how these go on. Oh, really cute. Oh, no, they sit. Okay, push them forward. They look fine. Because that's the thing. She looked like she was wearing her mom's shoes for a second, too. Yeah, I like this outfit on her a lot. It's very cute. You can judge for yourself. So it depends on your monitor too, but on my monitor, these look really bright. They're fuchsia, but they're not day glow. They're not like highlighter kind of fuchsia. And like I said, you don't have to pair it with the she's wearing jeggings. You don't have to pair it with the leggings, but you can also just put it, you know, it actually looks really cute with the jeans. I'm gonna stop there. But yeah, I guess because of the black, it would probably continue the color story. And there's one last little thing that I have to talk about that's kind of funny. And I talked about it in my last Maplelea video, which is me unboxing the Camp Maplelea collection. I unboxed the Happy Camper pajamas and I put them on Leah, which was, the joke was on me because it's part of the Camp Maplelea collection. But just so you know, they also make it look, it's also part of Leonie's collection. Like as you see here, it's in her catalog pages. Here she is down here wearing them on her bedding, not really bed. And I do have her bedding. It was gifted to me, something I bought from someone. It comes with this red, not really red. It's like a deep, is it magenta? It's like a deep pinkish red. And then because she's musical, this is her bedding. So it's got a picture of a guitar and music notes. So if I ever do get that pull out or something, it could be Leonie's maybe. And speaking of that, I might as well put Leonie in her pajamas because I had bought these a long time ago. For the record, I don't know if I made it clear that I have had this Leonie Spotlight ready. Well, not ready. I had things for it for so long. And as just getting to, I'm showing you as if like you can't see it right beside me, but I can show you how things can look really different between Maplelea and an American Girl. And so as I've been doing other things, I think the big holdup for me doing this spotlight was waiting for the old Leonie sculpt, because I kept getting so close. And I don't know if I talked about that in this video, but I have in other ones. I had come so close to getting the doll, and then for whatever reason, I almost like ghosted. Maybe they came across my channel and they're like, oh, it's this guy? He's not getting my Leonie doll. I don't want to see her on his channel, which is understandable, but I'm kidding. And so what I'm going to do after I show the pajamas on her, I can show Belle Soiree on, let's put it on Leah. Because it'd be weird if it's like, see, I don't really love to show starter outfits so much because they're not, you can't really buy the starter outfit unless someone's selling it used. Like they're not sold on their own. So that's why I don't feel too compelled to do that. Even though I'm showing outfits that are retired, which are just as hard to find for some people, geographically speaking. And so, yes, I had the Happy Camper pajamas all that time sitting in my Leonie pile, waiting for me to do this. And I forgot by the time the Camp Maplelea sale happened. So that's why I have two of them. And I don't even know when I realized it, but it was before I started doing my Camp Maplelea video. But I was just like, oh, well, they weren't expensive, though. I think the regular price, I can't even go by that because the catalog's a bit old, and I think there have been some price increases. But I think the sale price was like $12 Canadian. Like nothing to it. And cute story now, right? So as you can see, they somehow, I don't know what it is, even though their bodies are skinnier, they look baggier on Leah. That's one thing I noticed when I was looking at it on her last time. But now it's cute. I have both of these, and I just show, just in case, because Belle Soiree is still available, and it's a really cute outfit. And again, it comes down to if you like a lot of pink, because as much as I mentioned, you're going to see a lot of pink, and her secondary color is, why am I doing this? Just leave her there. Her secondary color is pink. I don't really think they talk about it that much. Oh, she looks so uncomfortable. Let me just lay her down on her bedding. I've had her up here the whole video, by the way, and I just kind of ignored her for the most part, but you got to look at her at least, right? So now let me just dress Leah. Put Leonie to bed for a bit. She's been standing this whole video. She must be tired. I gotta say, if you're someone who collects Maplelea clothes for your American Girl dolls and you don't have a problem with pink, this is definitely an ideal outfit. And I've had it on Leonie so long, I must have forgotten. When I opened it, I would have put it on American Girl, but look at this. It's a really great fit. And I'm certain I've gotten used to the way the shoes look on American Girls, because even that is a perfect match for Leah here as well. So yeah, all these pieces are really great. I don't know if it's very obvious what it feels like and what it looks like, all great quality. And like I said, I unboxed this a long time ago, no idea what the video was and who it was on, but it would have been someone at some point. And finally, there's no way I could end the Leonie video with Leonie in pajamas. So here she is in her outfit I was planning and eager to put her in for the summer. I finally see it on her. I love it, but I'll say I didn't even try the scarf on her hair because on the Maplelea doll, the neckline of the shirt, it hangs too low, so it wouldn't, there's no way. I'll put something else on her, maybe sunglasses, but yeah, no, I just have to show her dressed for summer in this outfit that I love so much. I'm so glad I found it. And truthfully, there's only one Leonie outfit that I haven't been able to track down, and I will someday. I won't do an entire spotlight on her because of it. And she has a sort of horse riding outfit that looks really nice and really great details as usual. And I believe that's all I need to say about Leonie. I don't have everything, even though I might have made it sound like it's a complete Leonie collection, but everything that's available on the website I do have. And I have quite a few of her retired pieces, especially for someone who hasn't been collecting all that long. And I was so excited to do this video, and I hope some of you who followed all the way through got to learn a few facts about Quebec or Canada or anything else that I just rambled on and on about. And or at least if you enjoyed seeing all the American Girl dolls trying on her outfits. And I had a lot of fun rambling tonight and seeing all these, and because a lot of them I was seeing for the first time, not just sitting in a box. So if you enjoyed it, as I hope you did, consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon in the next one.